Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Gwen and today I thought I could do another tag video. This one is the 20 Bookish Questions tag. Now, I don't know who is the original maker or creator of this tag, but if I do find out, I will put their information right here and down below. So I apologize for not knowing in advance. So let's jump into this tag. Oh my god, it's an airplane. That's the thing that just happened. The first question is, how many books is too many books in a series? Not enough. So I am someone who likes a lot of books in a series, and it's been something that I have had since I was very, very young, so it's not new. However, I think my favorite number for a series is between 4 to 5 books. I feel like we get enough about the characters that we've been following, and there's enough growth with the world and the knowledge of the world, and I feel that most loose ends get tied up very nicely within 4 to 5 books. I do understand the love of trilogies. I've read a lot of trilogies this year actually, and it's great. I just wish I could have more with those characters, more time with them. Second question is, how do you feel about cliffhangers? I'm kind of confused by this question because most of the time I read series, so every book up until the last book is usually a cliffhanger. So I guess I enjoy them. I like having something to pull me into the next book. I like having something that makes you gasp, like really good cliffhangers make you gasp at the end. I just realized that could be taken sexually. Not my intention. Question 3 is paperbacks or hardbacks? And for me, I don't have a preference. I really don't. I think you can tell by my shelves that I kind of am all over the place with what types of books I enjoy. I have this thing where if the first book I buy in a series is hardback or paperback, the rest of them have to be bought in that same version. And sometimes that can get very annoying, especially when a series isn't fully out yet. So I've had issues with that. But what I will say, when it comes to fantasy, I do really like mass paperback. I just like having the small book. It's easier to carry and you can flip through the pages way more quickly, so it feels like you've read a lot more. But yes, I'm really not picky with which one I prefer. So number 4 is favorite book. So for favorite book, I didn't want to choose anything that I have read this year. I wanted to do something that I definitely talk about and have been talking about for a bit. And I think the only series that fits this, it's not just a book, is the Malazan Book of the Fallen series by Steven Erikson. Specifically, I would choose the 5th book, which is titled Midnight Tides. So Midnight Tides, I feel, is my favorite one because it has some of my favorite characters, favorite storyline, and makes me always have really deep emotions when I think about it. The storyline in that one and the main arc that happens throughout is just incredibly, incredibly dangerous, terrifying, and also romantic. So I very, very, very much enjoy Midnight Tides. Now number 5 is least favorite book. I'm going to choose a fantasy book that I read a couple years ago because one, I haven't heard anybody talk about this series on Booktube, which is good. I don't want them to talk about this series, but it's kind of interesting that no one talks about it. That would be the Black Company series by Glenn Cook. The Black Company series is just awful. It's awful writing, awful characters meaning that they were not fully developed characters, and there's so much misogyny and sexism and rape culture throughout that book. Probably racism on top of it. Anyways, it's a horrible series. Most Goodreads reviews that are recent, you will notice that most people DNF the book at 50 pages. I wish I had done that. I wish I had not done and gone and read the entire 10 books. Don't do what I did. Don't waste your time. It doesn't get better after the first book. Question 6 is love triangles, yes or no? I'm a hard no on love triangles. Read too many when I was younger, don't like them anymore. Okay, number 7 is the most recent book that I could not finish. I am not known for DNFing a book. So I think the closest I came to DNFing a book recently would be The 1,000 Names by Django Wexler. That would be the closest. Question 8 is a book I'm currently reading, and the book I'm currently reading, because I only read one book at a time, is the short stories for Book Lane and Corbel Broach, the first 3. It's near my bed, but like I'm too lazy to get it. So here's the digital version of it. It's been really, really easy to get through, and none of the short stories are over 100 pages. So it's really fun, and I like it very much. Question 9 is the last book you recommended to someone. I think the last book I recommended was The Vanishing Half by Britt Bennett to a friend of mine. I normally don't give recommendations because there's a lot of people that I'm friends with that don't read a lot of the same books as I do, but I do recommend everybody reading The Vanishing Half if you have not already. But I'll get into that more so in my August wrap-up. Question number 10 is the oldest published book you've ever read. And that would be The Odyssey by Homer. And I read that freshman year of high school, and I remember not liking it. So sorry if that's one of your favorites. Question 11 is the most recent published book you have read, and that book would be Pharaoh the Ninth by Tamsin Muir. And you can hear all of my thoughts on that in the video I did last week. Okay, question 12 is favorite author, and I think this one's pretty obvious, but it may not be. I have the most books by Stephen Erickson, so it seemed more so that I would love his writing, so clearly he would be my favorite author, but I think he might be second place to N.K. Jemisin. Her writing just knocked me out of the park. Read the Broken Earth trilogy. Question 13 is buying or borrowing books, and I have a track record with always buying my books. I used to do library when I was a lot younger, and then I decided that I wanted to collect books and I wanted to have a full library in my own home. So that dream is still going on today. So question 14 is a book that everyone loves but I hate. I don't really have a book recently, but I do recall talking about The Great Gatsby in class and everyone else enjoying the book and me really not liking any of the characters, and I was just having a horrible time going through it. And I had to ask my teacher if that was normal, and she told me that you're supposed to hate all of the characters. And I'm still confused to this day why some people have favorite characters from that book, if at all. So that's the only thing close that I have to answering that question. Question 15 is bookmarks or dog ears? Bookmarks all the way. Question 16 is a book I can always reread. I've been trying to do a full reread of the Malazan Book of the Fallen series. However, I'm having a little bit of issue getting through those books. It's lovely to go see these characters again and seeing the arcs and seeing more of the hints lying around in the books, but it's a very dense book series and sometimes it gets overwhelming. So I'm not usually a rereader because I want to find more experiences in new books. So don't really have an official answer to this question. Question 17 is, can you listen to music while reading a book? Yes, it is so nice to have the ability to use music to tune everything else out so you can focus, and it actually helps me a lot with reading big fantasy books. I also have some epic playlists so that it feels that there's more going on in my head. I really, really enjoy listening to music while reading. Question 18 is multiple POVs or one POV? I am multiple POVs every single time. I find it so boring to have a story presented to you from one perspective. I feel like you're missing out on something if you don't have another person that's showing you either the other side or just giving you more representation on something else in the world that your main character might not see. It's been a while since I've read a book from one perspective because I read so much fantasy, and so I'm just used to it, and that's what I prefer. Question 19 is, do you read in one sitting or do you read over multiple days? I read really big books, so no, I can't read most of my books in one sitting. It's been a very long time since I've done that. However, if I'm really enjoying a book, I can usually get it read in 2 days or less, and that's pushing it, but I have to really, really be enjoying the book to do that. Okay, last question is tag someone. This is me just saying, if you watch this video, I tag you. Most of the time, really small booktubers don't get tagged in these, so I want to make a special note to anyone who's a new booktuber. You should do this tag. It's really, really fun, and people get to know you just a little bit more. on some of your interests in reading. So that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. As always, down below are links to donations, petitions, and articles for you to check out that focus on the Black Lives Matter movement and anything else happening in the world currently. My social media links are also linked down below in case you'd like to follow me anywhere else. And I will see you in my next video. Bye!